Race 5 at Ascot jumps at 3 o'clock. It's the Passages Peel Handicap over 1600 metres, and we'll have a look at the last start performance of Rebel Knight, last seen at Ascot.
Altani led. Here comes Cup Night though. Cup Night ranges up, grabs Altani from Henty-Gal. Further back in the field, Shawish, Rebel Knight. Cup Night with 150 to go. Burst clear though. Altani sticks to a task, and Rebel Knight's coming now with a late run. Cup Night, Rebel Knight, Cup Night.
I'm expecting Rebel Knight to start a pretty short favourite. It chased down Cup Night and was only just denied over the concluding stages, but just past the post the horse was in front, and if it can reproduce that turn of foot from gate 1, it should be very hard to beat. The step up in journey just by an extra 100 metres looks ideal, and there doesn't really look to be a great amount of pace in this race, which should allow the horse to just use a bit of momentum coming around the corner, and Chris Parnham's jumping on board and he is low flying at the moment. Rebel Knight goes on top from the 3 Aldi La, who I just don't think was suited at all last start. It sat in the breeze, was affected by a mid-race slowdown, and then really seemed to pick up late. Although it's drawn gate 7, I'm not expecting anyone from the inside to kick up and try and keep it out. So if Ryan Hill can roll forward, it should prove the horse to beat out there in front. Third pick is the 7, which is Make Mine Champers. It's a horse that does tend to get back in the field, but from gate 5, I suspect it might just be able to sit an extra pair or two forward, and that could prove the difference. It does have a very good turn of foot, and last start it had just a little bit of momentum coming around the corner. It was just a bit too far back for me. Fourth pick is the 1, which is Royal Strata. It came off that 2-day backup over last weekend and landed in a perfect spot and was able to go through the line with all momentum. So from gate 3, it will probably try the same trick once more. In race 5, the 2 on top, Rebel Knight from 3 Audi La, 7, which is Make Mine Champers, and 1 Royal Strata. Race 6 at Ascot jumps at 3:35. It's the Ramilius Resources Trophy over 1,000 metres, and our horse in focus will have a look at the last start performance of Fabagino.
Straight led Market Ruler, Lady Cosmology. She's looking for the rails runner. Electric Light's a further length away from Celebrity Dream. Market Ruler joined Fabagino. Now Lady Cosmology and Electric Light, 4 across the track. Electric Light reaches the lead. Celebrity Dream's running on. It's Electric Light. Lady Cosmology diving at it all. They hit it. Electric Light.
I'm very much prepared to forgive Fabagino. If we go back through its history so far, its best runs have been in high tempo events, and last start, although it did find the front, it just didn't go at a speed that it's capable of, and it doesn't necessarily have the greatest turn of foot, so it really needs a high cruising speed up front to break all the other horses' hearts and then use that ability to go on with the job. This event looks like there's heaps of speed. It will possibly sit in the breeze, maybe even 3 wide without cover, but if they go really fast up front, I'm pretty happy being with that horse in that leading position. Second pick for me is the 2 Market Ruler, who seems to draw a lot softer this time. I suspect it will be just behind the speed, and I appreciate the drop in journey back to the 1,000 metres. I think the horse runs its best at that shorter trip. Third pick is the 7 Hoboken, who really you can't fault the last couple of starts. It's been responding well and finishing very strong in those high tempo events. It will be probably last coming into the turn, but it does have a very sharp turn of foot indeed. And then fourth pick is the 6 Mervyn, who led with possibly too much speed up front last start. They went breakneck, and I'm suspecting the horse will try the same thing again from gate 1, but it looks to have returned in really good order, this horse. 3 on top for me, Fabagino from 2 Market Ruler, 7 Hoboken and 6 Mervyn. Race 7 at Ascot jumps at 4:15. It's the Neo Metals Handicap over 1,800 metres, and our horse in focus, it's one of my old favourites. We'll have a look at the last start performance of Yeah Bravo.
Resistance deeper out, followed by Discoville and Tonka Tough. New Age is a long way back at the 200 though. Yeah Bravo tackled by Resistance. Now the run for Royal Strata. Tonka Tough making a line of 4. Tonka Tough, Royal Strata against the rail. Resistance. Yeah Bravo, Royal Strata. Royal Strata wins it from Tonka.
He's a really hard horse to catch, Yeah Bravo, but he does seem to map ideally from gate 5. 1 out, 1 back, maybe 1 pair further back, but he won't have to lead like he did last start almost by default, and he also won't get too far back in the field or posted 3 wide without cover. The map looks ideal for it. 1,600 metres stepping up to 1,800 metres looks ideal as well. I just think he'll go around at a nice each way price. So he's on top from the 14, which is Spiritual Warrior. I really like horses who can handle early tempo, and this horse is one of those. If he gets any luck from gate 13, I suspect he'll be storming late, and he has been well back the last couple of starts, so obviously the horse is feeling well and performing well at home. Third pick is a 7, Discoville. It's another horse that seems to map ideal for the Parnham camp. Gate 2 this time. It should be able to get itself into a good position early. And again, if it gets a little bit of a split coming into the straight, it has shown recently that it can handle a high speed event. And then fourth pick is 8, Ping Me Another, who's coming up against the older horses. It's drawn pretty awkwardly out there in 12, so I suspect it will try and roll forward. But that last start performance in the Derby was very impressive indeed. 6 on top for me, which is Yeah Bravo, from 14, Spiritual Warrior, 7, Discoville, and 8, Ping Me Another. Race 8 at Ascot jumps at 4.55. It's the End Homelessness handicap over 1,400 metres, and our horse in focus is Little Fish, last seen at Ascot.
Along the rail, Turbo Power on the outside, got his head in front of Mrs. Brown's Boy. Pin's son, Harry Thomas, trying to bullock into the clear. Little Fish down the outside comes Settlers Creek with a run. At the 100, Settlers Creek, Little Fish have come together. Settlers Creek reaches the lead though, and Settlers Creek has given as a party the third.
Little Fish has drawn awkwardly all starts so far this preparation. It's had to be restrained early to find cover. It finally gets a suitable gate in 6, and I think it should be able to position itself a little bit more forward. 1 out, 1 back, maybe 1 pair further back, but it's been jumping well. It's just had to be restrained early and then doing a lot of work coming wide on the turn. Last start it did all bar beat Settlers Creek, but it did loom up and was heavily backed on that occasion. I suspect it will start a short favourite once more. It goes on top from the 8, Skin and Tins, which returned with a personal best performance last start. I can't help but be impressed with the way that this horse is going about things this preparation. It seems to map pretty well from 7. It's been settling a bit more forward, and I think that's been ideal for the galloper, but it seems to be low flying at the moment. Third pick is the 2, Cheston Flyer, who gets blinkers off. Was away okay last start, but was heavily restrained back towards the tail and didn't seem to do much late. So I'm prepared to forgive it because recent form prior to that was actually quite good. And then the fourth pick is the 9, Turbo Power, who, although seems on paper drawn a bit awkwardly from 10, it does have a few horses drawn on the outside of it who will also likely press forward. So more than likely, Turbo Power will find itself either leading or in a forward position, but with a bit of cover. So it might actually end up being suited by that gate. 5 on top in the last, Little Fish, from the 8, Skin and Tins, 2, Cheston Flyer, and 9, Turbo Power. Best bets time at Ascot. Race 3, number 4, Money Maher resuming, and race 8, number 5, Little Fish are my picks. That's all for us here on the box seat. If you'd like to keep up to date with us at Perth Racing, keep in touch via our website or social media. Until next time on the box seat, I'm Pete Anthonys. Good punting and go well.